year's Six Nations. Could you just tell us how potentially good Algarve might be?
Yeah, I mean, he obviously pretty good. I mean, he's in Montpellier. He's been playing 12 for them most of the year. He's currently injured, so he's not going to be with us for the first couple of games at least. We would hope to have him back later in the tournament, but we'll have to wait and see. Look, he's obviously in an environment where they, he's going to develop more. He's got some great players around him. And how good could he be? I don't know, he needs to play more at 10 now for us, to see that, because, I mean, playing at 12 is a little bit different, but he's got all the skills. He's got the kicking, he sees the game, he's pretty intense around working at what he needs to, and he knows the game. He watches a lot of rugby. So he could be pretty damn good.
Is there a possibility we could see a brother combination there, do you think, at some point? And then one of my readers actually emailed me at one point and asked me, did Paolo Garbisi or can Paolo Garbisi play soccer?
Can he play soccer? I have no idea. He would probably say he could. Two brothers at 9 and 10, you possibly could see it. I mean, Alessandro's he's been playing very well for Benetton. He's been given an opportunity and he's strung together some pretty good performances. There's good competition between him and Stephen Varney, and we've got Alessandro Fusco as well. So, it might happen. We'll just have to wait and see.
Hi guys. Just from the autumn, kind of what did you pick up from those 3 games, especially the game against Australia, that you can take into the Six Nations and kind of build upon in the next 2 months? Yeah, for both of you. Yeah.
Well, as I said, I think obviously for us, big thing is around confidence, and I think the confidence we build on is especially on the process we put in a week, with preparation for the game. I think that's the main thing. We are starting to believe in. We are starting. We already did, but we believed in what we are doing, in the way we are preparing a game, and that's one of the main thing around that. On the field is obviously something about having your own process and not conceding, after a mistake, another mistake, and that's almost the main thing. Because if you can stay in the fight, in the game for the whole 80 minutes, at the end you can have a chance.
Morning, Kieran. Can I ask about Sheriff Traore and the abhorrent incident before Christmas? Have you had a discussion with the squad about the culture and that incident in particular?
Oh, look, we only the boys got together yesterday. We haven't been there yet. Look, that's been dealt with, and so we've moved on. I think it's had plenty of airtime, and we've just moved on.
So you're not concerned it might affect the environment moving forward?
Not whatsoever. No.
You've got 3 or 4 key individuals from last year's Six Nations missing for the start of this tournament. Who really needs to step up and aid maybe Michele with the leadership side of things?
Oh, they all do. I mean, one of the things with our group is that there's not a lot of caps, not a lot of test matches there. There's a lot of players who have only played, in single figures games and in the teens. When you look at teams like Ireland and France, these sort of teams, they've got a lot of 50, 60, 70 cap players. So I don't think there's any one individual that has to step up. I think as a team we have to step up, and that's what we will be. Making sure that everyone knows, gets their roles right, and if they all get their roles right, then they'll all step up. As far as off the field goes, I think Michele does a great job around with his leadership group. And he gives them opportunity to lead as well. So I think they're developing, and that group will be the same. So they just need to keep developing as they are.
Hello, 2 questions for Kieran. What do you think about France, your first opponent? And do you think that Ange Capozzo improved since he went to Toulouse?
Yeah, Angelo Capozzo improved when he got to Italy. No, look, what do I think about France? Look, they're a good team, eh? You know, what have they got? 13 on the bounce now, 13 in a row. So they're playing well. You know, the pressure's on them now to continue that, and the pressure's on them for a World Cup in their home country. So they have a different sort of pressure now. Yeah, you look at the French competition, club competition, you know, you have 14 teams each week that are getting top-level rugby. You know, in Italy we have 2. So there's a big difference in that respect. Angie going to Toulouse has been great. I mean, look at the players he's around. You know, he's around Dupont, he's around these sort of guys. And so you're going to get better if you're in those environments because you are playing with those sort of guys. And you know, it's great for him. He's a big part of our team. He's, you know, he's one of the superstars probably at the moment. So, you know, it's... He's got a different challenge now, though, too, because last year he burst onto the scene and no one knew him. His challenge now is to continue to develop and have a good run this campaign.
Kieran, Michele spoke a little bit about mentality. What technical aspects have you prioritised since you've got into the job?
Technically, yeah, we need to keep working on our set play. Look, you know, you have to play a game that suits the players you have. You know, we're not a massively big team when you look at, you know, a team like France or that side of things. So, you know, we have to technically get our breakdown work right, we have to technically get our scrum right and our line-out work right. And if we can get those sort of things right and work on our systems, you know, well, then you're in games. You know, the players today are so technically proficient at, you know, stealing ball and you know, that sort of thing, and being street smart. You know, and that's probably one area that we need to get a little bit better at, being street smart. So yeah, we'll just keep working on our basics, and hopefully that helps us.
Michele, you smiled when Ange Capozzo was mentioned. What's it like being in a side with him?
Well, obviously, you know, it can happen, everything in every single moment of the game. So that's something that it's exciting, obviously. But yeah, I think it's something special to us because he knows when to accelerate. He knows when he feels the moment in a way. So that's something obviously special to us.
Kieran, I was just hoping you could kind of reflect on how much has changed over the last year. You've obviously had the big win in Cardiff, the win over the Aussies. Kind of when you think about where you were a year ago, kind of how does it feel now?
Yeah, well, look, like we had the Six Nations launch last year was by remote, I think, wasn't it? And I think the first question I got was around promotion relegation. This year it took 4 hours before I got that question, so things have changed a little bit, possibly. I'd like to think. What has changed? I think our whole mantra is to gain respect and credibility and get an identity for Italian rugby. I think we've started to do that, so that has changed. It's not for us to say we've gained respect and credibility. It's probably for you guys to say that. But that, to me, is one of the things we've changed. We've now created a process that we're comfortable with. We're looking at developing our game that suits us. So, you know, I think those sorts of things have changed. You know, we're starting to get a little bit of consistency around some selections, you know, that side of things, which is what you have to do when you get more cohesiveness, etc. Because early on, you know, we used a lot of players in the first little bit, simply because I did not know some of them, and they've got to get tested at that level. So I think those are probably the things. I don't know, is there anything I've missed?
No, honestly, no.
And you talk about the game plan. Was there a sense that your attack took a step forward in the autumn, because it seemed like you kind of were clicking quite often? But
yeah, well, we're working hard at it, you know, as you do. And I mean, and we'll change a couple of things with Six Nations as well. I think, you know, you've always got to be looking to be a little bit innovative, depending on who the calibre of your team, etc. But it's. I think, you know, we as coaches have a responsibility to rugby in general. You know, we've got to make it a little bit more attractive for for the spectators. I mean, it's an entertainment business now. You've got to have more fan engagement, etc., etc. So I think, you know, you have to. Test match rugby is about winning and losing in the end, because that's how you keep your job, I suppose, you know, when you see what's happening. But maybe I'm a bit of an older coach now, and that's not such a priority for me. So it's, you know, we have a responsibility to I think, to put a product on the field that is good to watch.
And last one from me, for either of you, just on going back to Ange. Can you just talk about what he's like as a personality? Obviously, we've seen what he can do on the pitch.
No, he's a very reserved guy. So he's pretty quiet. I think he's obviously a good guy. He just likes to stay with himself. But then if you try to pull him a little bit on your side, then he will join. He will join with a smile, and I always looking forward to having some time with him.